A property pioneer and a great Australian, Jim Service AO lived up to the full promise of his name. Bright and dedicated, Jim devoted his prodigious talents to his industry and his community. In doing so, he transformed both the property industry and our nation's capital.
Jim Service lived by the credo that we can all make a difference and we can all be nation builders. We need to take a long-term view and contribute solutions rather than problems. And above all, that everyone needs to be an ambassador for Australia. Jim was a huge believer in exploring the opportunities of regional Australia, whether that be Canberra, country towns, or the Great North, of which he was such a passionate advocate. It wasn't about cities hugging the coast. But he recognised to do that we needed leadership, and he took on that role and inspired many others to do the same.
One of Jim's greatest legacies for the property industry was actually his absolute belief that the property industry played an integral role in society. And I think that was always something that he emphasised, that the property industry was integral to the building of community and to the serving of community.
Jim had a remarkable ability to see over the horizon, but he also had a knack for inspiring others to share his vision. Born in 1933, he was a talented student who trained in Sydney as an accountant. In 1964, Jim, his wife Dorothy, and their 4 children moved to Canberra, and the nation's capital gained one of its greatest champions. Affectionately known as Mr. Canberra, Jim carved out an impressive national legacy in his adopted hometown and beyond. Former Prime Minister of Australia, John Howard, puts it perfectly. Jim Service gave a remarkable commitment to the life of Canberra. It is hard to think of any aspect of the life of our national capital which did not benefit from his energy. Jim formed GKS Construction in the ACT alongside Len Goodwin and Arthur Kenyon. One of their first projects was constructing the Jamison Centre in Belconnen, which still stands today. By 1981, Jim had established his own national property business, JG Service Proprietary Limited. This company was to reach successes far beyond Canberra, becoming the entity responsible for billions of dollars in property development and investment throughout Australia.
Jim was known as Mr. Canberra for a lot of reasons. He had a massive impact on the capital. He was involved in a lot of the thinking about the design of Canberra, about the public works that came in, and he helped fund a lot of Canberra's development through the creation of the Canberra Building Society, which ultimately became the Advanced Bank, of which he chaired. He was the only Canberran chairing a national listed company on the Australian Stock Exchange.
But Jim's contribution to Australia's property industry extended far beyond his own companies. As National President of the Building Owners and Managers Association, Jim led its transformation into the Property Council of Australia in 1996. This was the third attempt to elevate the ambition of the organisation to better meet the needs of our growing industry. It took Jim's prodigious intellect, patience and pragmatism to finally make it happen. Achieving far more than just a rebrand, Jim helped to reinvigorate the Property Council with a new language of prosperity and positivity, to reposition the property industry in the political arena, and to forge a new style of advocacy based on practical solutions that embraced our thriving cities and communities. Jim's vision gave our industry leaders a strength and unanimity of purpose that allowed the youthful Property Council executive team of the time to take the organisation forward into the new century. The Property Council has never looked back. While all this occurred, Jim's businesses grew, as did his resolve to give back to his community. Under Jim's visionary leadership, Canberra's embryonic building society movement became a major force in the local economy. As chairman of Advanced Bank, now part of Westpac, he became the first Canberra businessman to head a major Australian public company. Jim served on countless local, national and international boards, patiently shaping fledgling organisations and helping to build some of Australia's most valuable cultural assets. Most notably, Jim was behind the building of the National Museum of Australia, where he served as chairman of both the construction and cultural boards. Jim was a tough-minded businessman and respected by all sides of politics, but his kindness and commitment to giving back saw him generously mentor countless rising stars.
Jim was a great mentor for me. He supported me in my time in politics. I think what Jim showed is that you can run an internationally successful consultancy business in the property space, but you can do it at the same time as contributing to the community. So when Jim saw something that needed to be done, he got in and did it. A successful business person isn't just about the business. It's about society, the community, but broader, our whole way of life. And Jim really personified that.
In 2001, Jim was named Canberran of the Year. That year, he also received the Centenary Medal for Service to Australia's construction industry. In 2004, he was elevated from Member of the Order of Australia to Officer of the Order of Australia for his service to business and to the community. Jim passed away in 2021 and is survived by his wife Dorothy and his loving children, who have continued to build on their father's legacy. Today, we induct Jim Service AO into the Australian Property Hall of Fame in honour of a lifetime of nation building, not just in bricks and mortar, but in the hearts and minds of property leaders who have witnessed Jim's enduring legacy of service to all Australians. Thank you, Jim. Your shining example continues to inspire us. Distinguished guests, please join the Property Council of Australia in honouring Jim Service AO, 2022 inductee of the Australian Property Hall of Fame.
Jim Service was a pioneer, a legend, and a very great Australian. To Dorothy and the Service family, I hope you enjoyed this evening and Jim's well-deserved induction into the Property Hall of Fame.
I'd really like to congratulate Dorothy Service. Jim did a huge amount for Canberra, for Australia, for the company, for society, but he couldn't have done what he did without Dorothy's huge support and, of course, the support of the rest of the family. All of them operated in the business at some point in time. I've worked very closely with James and Rob, but I know the whole family pulls together. But the linchpin was Dorothy. Congratulations, Dorothy, for the huge amount of support you gave Jim over so many years.
Thank you to the Service family, to Dorothy, to James, to Catherine, to Adrian, to Robert, and all of your family for allowing Jim to participate in so many things that we're celebrating today. You gifted him from you to us, and Australia's a better place as a result. So thank you.
I would like to extend my very best wishes and congratulations to Jim's family, to Dorothy and his children on this honour that Jim so well deserves. Congratulations to you all.